Never underestimate a rookie with a photographic memory for disrespect. Caitlin Clark did not just win a game that night. She sent a message to the entire WNBA. The message was clear. I do not care who you are. I do not care how long you have been in this league. If you disrespect me, I will make—
Look at that crossover, then the spin, tough finish on a really good defender.
This game changed everything for Clark's rookie season. Before this game, people were still questioning if she could handle the physicality of the WNBA. After this game, nobody was questioning anything. She proved she could take a hit and hit back harder. She proved she could perform under pressure. Most importantly, she proved that talent plus hunger plus determination is an unstoppable combination.
89-72. Your final score?
DJI Carrington learned the hard way that some people you just do not poke. Some people take disrespect and turn it into fuel. Picture this. You are a professional athlete and you just mocked the hottest rookie in your league. Big mistake, because what happened next changed everything. She made you look like a complete fool in front of thousands of fans. Today I am breaking down the wildest revenge story in women's basketball history. And trust me, the ending will leave you speechless. We are talking about Caitlin Clark, the rookie who has been getting beaten down since day one in the WNBA. Sound familiar? First, people doubted her skills. Then when she proved them wrong, they found new reasons to hate. But there is one moment that had everyone talking. And by the end of this story you will see why DJI Carrington learned the hard way. Never mess with Caitlin Clark. But first, let me paint you a picture of just how bad things got. Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA with more hype than any rookie in league history. College basketball's golden girl. Triple doubles for breakfast. Logo threes like they were layups. But the WNBA veterans were not rolling out the red carpet. They were ready to humble this college superstar and show her what real professional basketball looked like. And DJI Carrington was about to become the poster child for why you should never underestimate a rookie with a photographic memory for disrespect. June 2024. Connecticut Sun vs. Indiana Fever. The perfect storm was brewing and nobody saw it coming. The Sun were dominating, and I mean destroying the Fever like they were playing against a high school team. This was not just a loss. This was an embarrassment on national television. Caitlin Clark was having one of her worst games ever. Only 10 points. 2 assists. The rookie phenom looked lost and frustrated, like she was questioning if she even belonged in this league. You could see it in her body language. The way she was shaking her head after missed shots. The desperate look she gave her teammates. This was the version of Clark that the haters had been waiting to see, but what happened next shocked the entire basketball world. With 3.5 minutes left, Clark got the ball off an inbound pass. She was trying anything to spark some life into her team. She saw an opening and decided to drive on DJI Carrington. Now Carrington is no joke. She is a veteran and a physical defender. The type who will make rookies cry. Clark drove and got bumped by Carrington. Hard. Whistle blew. Foul called. Normal basketball play, right? Wrong. What do you think Carrington did next? After the whistle blew, Carrington made a mocking gesture. Basically calling Clark a flopper right to her face. She waved her arms around like Clark had just dove into an Olympic swimming pool. Can you imagine? In front of thousands of fans on live television. The disrespect was unreal. This was a rookie in her 13th professional game getting clowned by a veteran. Clark did not say a word. She just walked to the free throw line with that stone-cold expression. Swish. Swish. Both free throws pure, but that was not even the worst part. The Fever still lost by 17 points. Clark looked completely defeated walking off that court. You could almost see her thinking, maybe they are right, maybe I do not belong here. And then the real disrespect began in the post-game interview. This is where things went from bad to nuclear. Carrington was sitting at the post-game podium. Reporters were asking the usual questions. How did you guys shut down Caitlin Clark tonight? At first Carrington gave normal respectful answers. She talked about team defense and communication and all the boring basketball stuff. She said things like we just executed our game plan and credit to our coaching staff. Boring. But then her teammate Ty Harris leaned into the microphone and said it is a seatbelt season for Caitlin Clark. Seatbelt season. You know what that means. It means they are going to rough her up every single game. It means buckle up rookie because they are about to take her on the bumpiest ride of her life. Now remember, this was only Clark's 13th professional game ever. 13 games. She was barely 3 weeks into her professional career. And here was a veteran basically declaring open season on the league's biggest star. The audacity. The disrespect. But here is what made it even worse. They were laughing about it. You could see them giggling like they had just told the funniest joke in the world. Social media went absolutely insane. Seatbelt season started trending worldwide. Fans were outraged. How dare they target a rookie like this? But the haters loved it. Finally, someone was putting Clark in her place. The basketball world was divided, but here is what they did not know. What they could not have known. Caitlin Clark never forgets. She has a memory like an elephant when it comes to disrespect. Every slight. Every comment. Every mocking gesture. It all gets filed away in her mental revenge folder. And when these two teams met again months later, she remembered. And the revenge she served up was absolutely brutal, but before we get to that sweet payback, let me set the scene for you. Fast forward a couple months. The calendar pages are flipping. June turns to July. July turns to August. And through it all, Clark has been grinding. She has been getting better, learning and adapting. But she has not forgotten. Every night before bed she was probably replaying that mocking gesture in her head. Every morning in practice she was thinking about seatbelt season. The fire had been burning inside her for months. And now finally it was time for round 2. The Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun. But this time everything was different. The Sun were undefeated in the season series 3-0. They owned the Fever. In their minds this was going to be another easy win. Another chance to embarrass the rookie. Think Clark was intimidated. Think again. By this point she was no longer that scared, overwhelmed rookie from June. No way. This was Caitlin Clark 2.0. Upgraded, improved and angry. This game had star power in the building that made it feel like the NBA Finals. Anthony Richardson, the Indianapolis Colts quarterback, was sitting courtside. Simone Biles, the Olympic legend and the greatest gymnast of all time, came to watch. When Simone Biles shows up to your basketball game, you know it is about to be special. The atmosphere was electric. You could feel the energy through the TV screen. The Fever fans were ready. They had been waiting months for this moment. They had signs. They had chants. They were loud. And Caitlin Clark walked onto that court looking like she was about to collect some debts. You know that walk, that swagger athletes get when they are about to destroy someone. That was the energy. She was not nervous. She was not scared. She was locked in with one mission. Payback time. The warm-ups looked different. Her shots were falling. Her passes were crisp. Even her teammates could feel it. They were looking at each other like oh, she is in that mood. What happened in the first quarter alone would make Carrington regret everything she had done back in June. The game started and you could immediately tell Clark looked different. This was not the overwhelmed rookie from June. This was a woman on a mission. You know that look athletes get when they are about to destroy someone. That Michael Jordan in the '91 finals look. That Kobe Bryant in Game 7 look. That was Caitlin Clark's energy. First few minutes she was feeling things out, getting a read on the defense. She was not rushing, not forcing, just calculating. But Carrington thought this was going to be easy work like last time. She was playing physical, bumping, talking trash, probably whispering things like "remember last time, rookie." Big mistake. Because then boom. Clark got the ball at the top of the key. Carrington was guarding her tight. Clark took one hard dribble to her right. Carrington took a half step and that was all Clark needed. Crossover. The nastiest crossover you could imagine. Carrington's ankles got sent to the shadow realm. She stumbled like she had just gotten off a roller coaster. Clark had all day now. Step back. Perfect form. Swish. Three-pointer right in her face. The crowd went absolutely insane. Clark did not even celebrate. She just gave Carrington a cold stare and ran back on defense. That looks at everything. Remember me now. But that was just the warm-up. Next possession, Clark was running the offense like she had been doing it for 10 years. She was making behind-the-back passes that would make Chris Paul jealous. No-look dimes that left her teammates wide open. The chemistry was unreal. Every pass was perfect. And every time she touched the ball the crowd got louder. By the time the first quarter ended something magical had happened. The Fever were not just competing. They were winning. 33-26 Fever lead. Clark had completely flipped the sky. She is not just playing basketball, she is putting on a masterclass in revenge. First possession back, Clark gets the ball on the wing. Full court laser pass threads through 3 defenders and finds her teammate perfectly in stride. The precision was inhuman. Carrington is watching this thinking, who is this girl? This is not the same player who struggled to make basic passes back in June. No way. This is Caitlin Clark evolved. Next play, Clark brings the ball up court. Carrington tries to pressure her full court. Mistake. Clark hits her with a step-back 3. Clean, effortless, pure. Even the Sun players on the bench had to respect it. Swish. Nothing but net. The crowd is going ballistic. Every shot makes the cheers louder. You can see the frustration building on Carrington's face. This was not part of the plan. Then it gets spicy. Third quarter rolls around and Carrington has had enough. She has been getting cooked for 2 straight quarters. Finally, she hits a 3-pointer from the corner and starts shushing the Fever crowd. Can you believe the audacity? She is getting destroyed all game, hits one shot and tries to silence the crowd. Big mistake. What do you think Clark did next? She sprinted up the court like she was being chased by the Flash. The speed was unreal. She covered 94 feet in what felt like 2 seconds. Carrington was still celebrating when she looked up and saw Clark flying toward her. Behind the back dribble that made Carrington look silly. Explosion to the rim. Bucket right over her outstretched arm. The crowd went absolutely nuclear. People were jumping out of their seats screaming, losing their minds. And Clark just looked at Carrington and shook her head like, you thought you could quiet this crowd. The disrespect was complete, but the best was still to come. Fourth quarter. Crunch time. This is where legends are made and careers are ended. This is the moment Clark had been waiting for. Months of frustration, months of fire built into this one stage. The score was tight. The pressure was maximum. Everything was on the line. The Sun were desperate. They could not let this rookie embarrass them on her revenge tour. Carrington was playing like her life depended on it. Diving for loose balls, fighting for every possession. But Clark was ice cold. Zero nerves. Zero fear. This was crunch time Caitlin, and she was different. Ball came to her with the game tied and less than 2 minutes left. She was being guarded by Veronica Burton. They had switched Carrington off her because she was getting torched. Clark saw Burton, and what she saw was a mismatch, a victim, an opportunity to finish what she had started. She took one dribble to size up the defense. Burton stayed low, tried to make it difficult, but Clark had that Michael Jordan switch now. Explosion. Quick first step that left Burton in the dust. Straight line drive to the basket. No hesitation. Easy bucket. Fever took the lead. The crowd lost their minds. You could feel the energy through the TV screen. Less than a minute remained. The Sun were desperate to tie it up. Alyssa Thomas brought the ball up the court. She is their best player and their closer. If anyone was going to save them, it was her. She drove to the basket, tried to make a hero play, but the pressure was too much. She lost the ball. Turnover. The Fever got possession with 38 seconds left. Game was basically over. Carrington had to commit a desperation foul to stop the clock. Lexi Hull went to the free throw line. Swish swish. Both free throws good. Game over. Final score 84-80 Fever. Clark finished with 19 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. But the real story was not the stat line. The real story was that she made Carrington and the entire Sun team look foolish when it mattered most. This was not just a win. This was a statement. This was Caitlin Clark telling the entire WNBA, "I remember everything and I pay back with interest, but wait, it got even better." After the game, DeJohnai Carrington was salty, bitter and completely humiliated. She could not even handle it like a professional. Instead of taking the loss with dignity and giving Clark her flowers for an incredible performance, she went to Twitter for a meltdown. She tweeted, "The Indiana Fever have the nastiest fans in the W." The audacity. She had just been schooled by a rookie on national television and her response was to blame the fans. That is like getting dunked on by LeBron James and then complaining that the crowd cheered too loud. The pettiness was off the charts.